A warm welcome here in Spakeren in the Netherlands. I'm very happy that you all joined in here because we have a special event. And why we do have this event? Because of the coronavirus situation. You normally should be in Amsterdam in the Congress, but that isn't happened. So we are now virtual. We would like to invite you to an Oktoberfest, what normally takes place in Bavaria, in Munich, but we were planned here to have in this occasion an Oktoberfest together with you. But okay, this pandemic made us thinking over the whole thing to make it virtual from here to you at home. I'm not alone here, thanks God, because there are so many things I've never heard before I came here in this facility. I would like to introduce you to Mark Lansu. He is the CCO of Teleon. Mark, good day as well. We have here a screen between each other, so we also do everything to avoid social closeness. We have all our masks with me, but because we have this wall, we don't have to wear masks, but everybody else. But that would be very nice to do. The ESCRS 2020 doesn't take place.
Well, it actually does take place. It's taking place virtually, and that is why we are here also together virtually. So I think that welcome also from my side. Thank you for the introduction, Harry. I am very, very excited to have our 9th international user meeting, albeit it is virtual. But anyway, still, I think it's going to be a great time. Let's all have a great time. And let's switch to back to Harry.
Yeah. It's nice to know where you all are at the moment. We have our clients and our customers, our doctors all over the world. And now we can see on the chart in which countries we are. We are in Europe. We have a lot of viewers in Australia and Malaysia, Japan, China, South Africa, and Korea, as well as South and North America. So a lot of people are already locked in the program. And for me, it's the first time I am be seen worldwide. Normally only in Germany, but this time worldwide. I feel great, I must say. We do a lot of polls in the time being, so we would like to first ask you, where do you practice? That's for us very interesting to know, and it's for you just a click. Where are you situated? Then we can say, so many people are in Malaysia, so many people in Japan. That would we like to know. So please be so good and make your click on the right place. Yeah, Mark.
Would this have been a normal year, we would all have been in Amsterdam. So
yes.
Everybody would click, I'm in Holland right now.
Yeah,
Unfortunately,
normally, yes.
not the case.
And that's a matter of fact. You see, you don't see Amsterdam this year, probably next year or the year after, if this whole corona pandemic is under control. But that takes a while. But you should have your Oktoberfest so or so. Mark, what is your role with Teleon?
My role at Teleon is Chief Commercial Officer. So I take care of all our customers together with my team in Berlin and in Leverkusen and also here in Spakeren. Our customers is our distributors, our partners, our end users, our eye doctors, everybody that is also now hopefully tuned in to this to this wonderful event. And I'm really happy to be here and to share all this news that we are going to be telling about today with you.
Mm-hmm. What is special about Teleon, or what does Teleon stands for?
Well, Teleon is a company that is basically really concentrated on providing premium IOLs to their customer base and also to the end users. So that makes us kind of a niche player. And what our core competency really is that we want to provide to patients the ability to effortlessly see in any distance, far, near, and in between. That is our goal.
You're not alone. How big is your team and where are they located?
Well, yeah, thankfully I'm not alone. That would be very difficult for me to do. But we are in total, we're about 140 employees. Of those, 100 here at this site here in Spankeren. And then we have 2 sites in Germany, one in Berlin and one in Leverkusen. I say hi to all our employees that are listening to us and watching us and hoping that I don't make any mistakes here.
You will hear in the evening. Which products do you produce at Teleon?
Well, as I said, we concentrate on making intraocular lenses. That's what we are very good at, and that's what we are especially proud of. And in that regard, especially what we are proud of is the optics that we have, and that makes us really stand out from the crowd.
What are the most important topics and trends in the ophthalmology industry at present?
Well, you see, this has evolved over the years now, and what has happened is that cataract surgery used to be a discipline that was basically curing a disease. And that has been that way for many, many years. And since the last couple of years, this has been shifting now very strongly towards perfecting vision for patients. So what you get is you get basically all cataract surgeons are now striving to give patients the best possible vision available, and that's where we would like to help them with.
That's great. We would like to show you some more details about the company. So enjoy this little film.
My name is Ben Wanders. I'm a typical technical guy. Technique is my passion. I started about 40 years ago with the intraocular lenses, together with my partner, who had a wholesale company in contact lenses, and we decided on a Sunday afternoon we're going to make these ourselves.
My name is Mark Lansu. My role in the company is Chief Commercial Officer. I take care of everything that happens after the lenses have been produced and basically take care of all our customers.
With the Acunex, Lentis and Femtis brands, Teleon Surgical offers state-of-the-art cataract and refractive IOL solutions. As one of the few remaining independent IOL manufacturers worldwide, having their own in-house R&D and recently inaugurated state-of-the-art production site, you can rely on 30 years of experience and expertise in the IOL industry. Let your patients benefit from the market's most innovative IOL platform and one of the world's leading multifocal technologies. 800,000 multifocal implants worldwide speak for themselves. We provide the highest quality products for your patients.
If patients are happy, our customers, the ophthalmic surgeons, are happy, and that makes us happy.
The traditional way of producing IOLs is mass production. And where we put our effort in as from the beginning is not mass production, but mass customization. It's difficult to make 1 million lenses, but it's even more difficult to make 1 million different lenses, and that all custom made. I think that's one of the unique possibilities we have with our technology.
Every patient that gets implanted with one of our lenses is a success for us. The uniqueness about Teleon is, first of all, its technology, its products, but then most important of all, its people and its customers, so that they can make sure that patients get their vision back.
Proud that we were able to keep innovation going. I think our segmental multifocal technology was really a breakthrough and brought us to the position where we are now. Unique lenses for unique patients.
Teleon Surgical, passion for perfect vision.
We will do during this broadcast a number of polls where we ask you to answer the questions, so we are aware who you are, what are you doing, and how we can help you in future. That is, I think, the best thing to know. For example, the first question in our poll. Would you like to take that one?
Sure. So you should be seeing on your screen different questions now. And the first question is, what is your average annual volume of cataract surgery?
That is for us a very important question to be answered, because that gives us a hint. What are our viewers like? We talked about Oktoberfest. Should we now open the box, or should we do first the questions? What do you think?
I think I'm very interested to see what's in the box, actually. What do you think?
Yeah, well, a number of you got these boxes. You got one as well there.
Right, I got
so
one here.
This is our Oktoberfest box. And this event box has a special, beautiful, an original Bavarian hat for you. So I don't know whether it is my size or not. I just look over there in the, oh yeah. We look so great.
You look really good.
Yeah, you too.
Me too?
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
But there's something else as well in this box, and that is very important. We have a beer in here. Oktoberfest is a beer fest, and in this box are 3 different kinds of beer that we will introduce to you later on. The questions you will see are here. Do you like to have a beer already?
Oh, I think we should go through the questions first, maybe?
We go to the questions first? Okay. Which of the following best describes you? You can read it. I consider myself as a cataract surgeon, and so on, and so on. From A until F, please click the right letter so we know who you are. Then the next question, right, is what percentage of your current cataract procedures involve, and let's go, you let me do that, astigmatism correcting IOLs?
Perfect.
Close, huh?
Yeah, that was very good.
Also here you have the possibility to answer from A to F, and that's what we would like to know. Next question.
I'm going to do that one as well.
Or should we have the beer first?
No, you can go ahead with the question. I was wondering if you wanted to actually
I
say
have
the
to read
word.
it first. No, please do it. Please do it yourself.
Me? Okay.
Yes, yes.
So, question 5 comes from me. What percentage of your current cataract procedures involve presbyopia correcting IOLs?
See, presbyopia. That's the word
That's what
I
thought.
was afraid of.
So I
and
think now it's really time for...
Now it's time for beer.
Absolutely.
We're talking about our first beer, and I give you one. We have an alcohol-free. This is one for you, because we have to do some work. Need a glass?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So it's now the time for you, as you have, if you have a box like this, to open your first beer as well. And yeah, normally we drink regular beer, but in this case, alcohol-free. What kind of beer do we drink here? We drink here a Warsteiner. That's a German beer.
Yes.
Comes out of the western part of Germany, and in the area of Olpe, whatever you know about this city. This brewery is founded 1753, and this beer is brewed following the purity laws in Germany. There are only a couple ingredients who are allowed. That is water, hop, and malt. And that's all. That's all what is in German beer. And this beer, Warsteiner, is available in over 50 countries. Now you're saying, well, why these guys stay here and have a beer? Cheers. Cheers to you at home as well. You may take your hat off or leave it on. Lecker. Very good.
To my German friends, Hopfen und Malz, Gott erhalt's.
that you remember this sentence. This, I just wondering. Oktoberfest, ladies and gentlemen, should take place since mid-September until this weekend, until Sunday. And it would be the 187th time since 1810. So it is a very old fest. The last cancellation of the Oktoberfest was during the World War II between 1940 and 1945. There it didn't take place. And now, because of the pandemic, because of Corona, it don't take place at all. The Bavarian people are shocked because over 6 million people visit this event, and they drink over 6.5 million liters of beer there. It is ridiculous.
You know what I also like is that the Oktoberfest is copied all around the world. So you have Oktoberfest everywhere. And this is a very special year that Oktoberfests are probably not taking place anywhere this year.
I want to buy me a new shirt. They said, okay, if I go to this location here in Holland, I take a white and blue square shirt. Not available because there is no Oktoberfest all over in Europe.
Well, this is the only Oktoberfest taking place.
It's
online,
the only
virtual.
Oktoberfest in Holland and in Germany. Well, should we come to the next questions?
I think what we should look at is maybe the answers to the questions.
Okay.
To the questions that we had.
Then go ahead.
So what we see on our screens now is that we got back the questions from the responses from the questions that we gave you, and the overwhelming majority of surgeons that are online right now do between 250 and 500 eyes,
right,
in their annual volume of cataract surgery. Can we switch to the next responses? And again, the overwhelming majority has, in the question that was, which of the following best describes you? I consider myself a refractive cataract surgeon, also focusing on presbyopia correction and astigmatism treatment.
Yes, it's there we have the most viewers.
Yep.
Because they know the product, I guess.
I guess so.
Yeah, yeah. Next question was, which percentage of your current cataract procedures involve anti-stigmatism correcting IOLs? And here we have a broad range of answers. Best, 6 to 10%.
Yeah, most of the respondents fall into the categories 1 to 5, 6 to 10, and 21 to 40%. And
a number of over 40 as well.
And also a number of over 40. So very, very good results. Almost everybody is really involved in correcting astigmatism for their patients.
Yeah.
And if we look at the presbyopia correcting results, it's pretty much the same result as we had with the astigmatism correction results. Very few that are not involved with presbyopia correcting IOLs. And then across the board from B, C, D, E, F, and mostly landing in the category, actually in the last category, which is very surprising, more than 40% of presbyopia correcting IOLs. That's very good.
Yes, yeah. It seems you are excited about that.
I am very excited about that because that means that many doctors are offering to many patients the ability to see far, near, and in between. So that is very good.
Great, great. Have we some more to show?
I think that's it, right?
That's it then. That was the last question so far. We have another poll for you later on. Mark, we're going to see a short video again.
Yes.
And how are we going to see there?
Well, let me introduce to you a dear acquaintance of mine from the Philippines, Dr. Harry Wijnvoord. He is a ophthalmologist working in the Philippines in the Peregrine Eye Center in Manila. Harvey, if you are watching, hi. Good to be with you. He's an internationally very respected researcher and surgeon, well-versed in all kinds of specialties like retina, cataract, and refractive. And he has been at the forefront of our start with the Acunex Vario EDOF lens. And he wants to share us his ideas and his clinical experience with this lens.
Hello, I'm Dr. Harvey Uy from the Peregrine Eye and Laser Institute in Makati City, Philippines. And I'm excited to talk about a new age of high contrast, wide range of vision intraocular lenses. In the past years, there's been a growing trend towards having good distance and intermediate vision for patients who are undergoing cataract surgery. And a successful cataract surgeon is able to understand their patient's needs and has a bunch of solutions that can help address the patient's concerns and give the patients the kind of vision they want. As we transition from the age of print to the age of digital devices for gaining information, having the ability to be able to have high contrast vision for seeing distance as well as digital devices becomes increasingly important. And this trend has been accelerated by the pandemic, making patients and people shift to a more digital way of life. For example, patients are now able to access their doctors by using telemedicine. Students are able to do online learning. Office workers are able to work at home and interact with their colleagues using online digital devices. And we're even able to shop and order food digitally without having to leave the house. So in this current age, if we cataract surgeons can give patients very good spectacle-free distance vision and good intermediate vision so that they can see their digital devices without glasses, then our patients will be very happy. And I've noticed a recent trend that patients are willing to sacrifice wearing reading glasses for the occasional fine print as long as they can be assured that they can see their laptops and their smartphones very well without glasses. To address these needs, Teleon has introduced a new breed of intraocular lenses called extended depth of focus intraocular lenses, particularly the Acunex Vario lens. This is a one-piece foldable lens which is made of glistening-free hydrophobic acrylic material. It's blue light filtering. It comes with a C-loop haptic which provides excellent centration, and it has a 1.5 near vision segment, as you can see in this picture. Incorporating this lens into your practice requires no learning curve, as the lens can go through implantation through a 2.2 millimeter clear corneal incision. Once inside the eye, I really love the way the haptics unfold in a controlled manner, allowing you to manipulate the lens with the lens still staying inside the capsular bag. Once the lens has completely unfolded, the haptics provide excellent self-centration, which is persistent in the post-operative period. We were fortunate to participate in one of the early pilot studies of the Acunex Vario lens. And in this study, we implanted 20 patients bilaterally with the Acunex Vario lens. We had the familiar IOL study endpoints shown here. Patients were typical cataract surgery patients without other pathologies. And the characteristics of the patients were what we would typically see in patients coming to us for cataract surgery. And these patients were sort of maybe slightly younger age group, if you can call 70 years old young, but these patients are still very active and they like to do some sports. Some of them are still driving, and some of them they like to read or communicate with their friends and colleagues using their computers or smartphones. These are typical surgical parameters that we used in the study. How did this Acunex Vario lens work? So from our experience, the patients demonstrated excellent monocular uncorrected distance and intermediate visual acuity. Of note, you can see that the results for intermediate visual acuity that's uncorrected is almost as good as the uncorrected distance vision. For near vision, when these patients were uncorrected, you can see where they were just below the threshold value for reading. Now, a lot of these patients were slightly or mildly hyperopic, and when we corrected this small amount of hyperopia, you can see here that we retained excellent distance and intermediate visual acuity, but you can see that now a lot of the patients are able to demonstrate good near vision acuity as well. How about binocular vision? So implanted in both eyes, these patients now have are able to demonstrate excellent uncorrected distance visual acuity, and amazingly their intermediate vision is almost as good as their distance vision. And surprisingly, a lot of these patients also reported that they're able to read near without using spectacles. From this image, you can also see very tight, consistent, and precise refractive outcomes after implantation with the Acunex Vario. These two graphs show you the defocus curves at 3 months and at 6 months for monocular and binocular vision. And what's very impressive about this graph is that these patients demonstrated a broad, wide range of continuous visual acuity through different distances. And this is seems to be superior to the bimodal curves that we would see with multifocal lenses. So in contrast to placing your standard multifocal lenses, these patients are able to see continuously over a wide range of distance, and this is of some advantage when you're working in the office and you have to look at somebody who walks into the room, look at your laptop screen, and then try to find something on your desk. So this continuous range of vision allows you to be more efficient working. How about patient-reported outcomes? Well, we also tested the contrast sensitivity, and we found that these patients demonstrated excellent photopic and mesopic visual outcomes with good contrast sensitivity, whether it's in light or dark conditions. We also purposefully asked patients about visual disturbances, and we were pleasantly happy to see that very few of these patients actually reported glare, halos, or starburst, whether it was day or nighttime conditions. So in general, the vast majority of these patients were very happy with the quality of vision after surgery. So the key findings from our initial series of Acunex Vario patients were the Acunex Vario is very easy to handle and very easy to implant, and there's a very small, even no learning curve to incorporating this into your practice. It centers very well inside the capsular bag, which is important for a lens with advanced optics such as the Acunex Vario. We're able to get good refractive predictability right off the bat. The lens exhibits excellent visual performance for distance and intermediate visual acuity, providing patients with a continuous range of vision. And surprisingly, a lot of these patients were able to obtain good near vision when implanted binocularly. There were no significant patient complaints about visual disturbances. So in summary, we found that the Acunex Vario provides a wide range of continuous vision and similar to a monofocal lens, is very well tolerated with little to no visual disturbances. Thank you very much for your attention.
Tja, mein Lieber, das war natürlich ein ganz interessanter Beitrag. Was ist dein Resümee über seinen Vortrag, über den Vortrag von Dr. Hui?
Well,
Oh, sorry.
thanks, Harvey, for this wonderful talk. Thank you very much. To put it basically in a nutshell, what you have all seen now is that we have come now with a technology and that we have already for years and years, and we have taken it to the next level, and we have been able to also put it on a new material and provide you with the geometry that many of you like. If I can just demonstrate this right quickly here. We have here Lentis Comfort, Acunex Vario, and if you mold the two, that's what you get with the new lens that we have now available for you. So thanks, Harvey, for these first results. These are 12 months follow-up results, so that's very encouraging for us. And also what I would like to announce here for the first time before this great audience is that this model will be available in a toric version. So you will be able to correct both presbyopia and astigmatism at the same time, starting in December of this year. With that, I turn it back over to you.
Yeah, that's funny. Have you recognized that I just started speaking German, and that in Holland by an English-speaking audience? I think I was...
It must have been the alcohol-free beer.
That must be the alcohol-free beer, because normal alcohol never happens to me. I think it's very, very interesting. But if you now have some, for example, some questions, we have on your right side up above in your screen on your television, you can have your, well, questions to us. Send your questions in and we try to answer them. Be so good, use that possibility, then we would love to have your questions. I had the opportunity to have a walk around of, in this company, in this complex here, and I did that together with the owner and founder of Teleon, and that is Ben Wanders. But I would think, let's have a look in the company. So now we will invite you through a tour through the building. And this is not just a building, it's a very special building. The owner of Teleon is Ben Wanders. Ben, what kind of building you built here for your factory?
Well, we built the new building with everything ready for the future. So that means we have a building which is classified according to Dutch regulation in a so-called GPR 8.
May I have a look inside?
Absolutely. Well, Harry, as you may know, we have some corona issues in the Netherlands, so please. Yes, it's just a tick.
Yeah. Yes, we are now inside this factory of Ben Wanders. And as you now see, I have a complete Bavarian outfit because I used to live in Bavaria as a Dutchman. But you should know, so I'm looking under the table, what you haven't seen yet. Ben, lobby, reception, tell us about.
Well, as you can see, if you enter the building, it's open, it's airy, and by the entrance immediately we have, of course, our continuously running board where people can see what we are doing and where we stand for. Mm-hmm. That's, we believe, is important. As we have to build a new building, we have also created a nice seminar room, so where we can give our lectures, the doctors can come in and we will show them everything we do.
Big and huge factory. How many people work here, in fact?
We work here in a 5-shift system, so 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. In total, we are around 100 employees here.
In this building?
In total. On the left here you see, this is, let me say, the heart of our production, the machining area, where the IOLs are produced. Have you any idea how an IOL is made?
I've never seen any of it, and I will be very surprised because you got something in your hand.
Well, I have one here.
Yeah.
It's a little bit too big to put in your eye, but as a demo model, of course, it's very nice. Well, it starts everything with a piece of raw material.
Yes.
You see it's a slightly yellow colored material. The function is a blue light filter in the IOL. So the proceeding to produce it is, in fact, you take your raw material. We have the recept received from the doctor. We say, well, I need a lens with a certain power, certain addition, certain cylinder, and then we start working. So we take our raw material, then it goes on a holder, so we can manufacture the optics. And the reason we block it on a holder is to keep it stress-free.
Yeah.
And when that's done, well, it goes to one of these machines here, as you can see. And well, for the rest, you see our employees are, many of them have the same name. They're called Epson, and they're working around the clock.
Yes.
Very straightforward.
Right. Lot of development made by yourself?
Yes, automation, robotics, very important in our process is logistics, software. We do a lot of customized IOLs, so that means you need a very ingenious system to get these recept lenses produced piece by piece, and the uniqueness of every product lies in the different parameters of the lens. Okay, Harry, as I told you before, here we can have a look in the clean room. Yeah. The clean room is, let me say, the heart of the company, because here is where the decision is made, is a lens good or bad?
Yes.
So the ladies, as you see here in the clean benches, inspecting one by one the IOL, inspecting for power, inspecting for scratches, for everything, cosmetic. And once they say it's good, then it goes in the blister packaging, it's sealed. If these ladies make mistakes, I have a problem. Harry, we will now go to the sterilization area.
Yes.
I'll open the door for you, where the products, once they are finished, okay, I will open the door. So we have to stay here.
Yeah.
So the products finished in the clean room, they will enter this area through that pass box. Yes. And the ladies, well, they make sure that the products are in autoclave, that, well, all the necessary steps are done. And once the products are released, because after the sterilization there is a release program, so that will be checked, is the product really sterile? From there it goes to the logistics area, so it's packed in the final box. And that's the next station where we go to. Here is the final product. Once they are finished from the sterilization, then they will enter this area and go in the packing machine, and I will show you briefly how that process works. So what you already have seen in the sterilization, we have a finished product, it's sterilized, and this machine is picking up the product and is capable of packing each product individual. So as we make a lot of customized IOL, means as well that every packaging with the parametering is different.
Okay.
So it is a very intelligent machine. Mm-hmm. It's different from a machine who can make 1,000 products in 10 minutes all the same. That's also difficult, but doing packaging each product different. Our marketing departments, well, they make a lot of different boxes, so we have the flexibility to put different boxes in the process. In the system is checked again if the lens is really in the blister, so there are extra quality steps on top. It generates all the etiquettes for the patient cards. It makes the complete pile for in the box, the instructions for use, the patient cards. And once this whole bundle is finished, it's shifted in the box, it's closed, it makes the closing etiquette, it's checked. You see a lot of cameras on it,
yes.
So it has a lot of quality steps in it. Checking readability of barcodes, checking is the etiquette really fixed straight on it.
That must be done by hand. It's unaffordable.
Well, that's why we built this machine about, I think, meanwhile, 7-8 years ago. Okay, Harry, now I will show you where the products are stored. So once they're finished at the packaging machine, then, well, you can see it here in this kind of boxes, and you see the finished product, everything so nice around.
This is sent to the doctors?
Yes, this is the actual packaging. This is, for instance, here we have the Acunex Vario Max. We have all kinds of different lenses.
Yeah.
And these are standard products. The customized products, of course, are sent directly. They are not entering the stock.
Coming to the stock.
Yes.
So they're freshly made and
absolutely, yes.
So and this it can be ordered?
Yes, these are ordered regularly every day. And
great.
Yeah, it's a stock product. Well, Harry, this is more or less the end of the tour. Yes. We have seen the important parts, and we go back to the lobby.
Okay. How long are you in this business?
Well, I started in the intraocular lens business in 1996, when I'm correct. Yes.
So, lot of experience.
You can say so. We are back in the lobby at the first level. As you can see, a beautiful view here.
Yeah. Well, it was very impressive to see your factory, your company. Congratulations to this.
Thank you very much.
And I hope, dear viewers all over the world, that you enjoyed this tour as well. And maybe you come one day yourself and see it with your own eyes. We go back to the studio, and thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very much indeed, Harry.
That was a very nice experience for me, because I hadn't had a clue how these things are made. I still don't have, but at least I know which kind of machinery is there to produce these lenses. I'm fascinated. I'm very fascinated. Now I'm a lot more confident that if something happens, now I know how it works.
Absolutely.
I know where to go.
And I absolutely share your fascination. I've been in this business for the last 15 years, and I hope I will retire in this business because it's just so fascinating.
Yes, yes, yes. If you are in it and if you understand what you're doing, it's also very, very helpful. But if I walk through this complex here, through the whole factory, because the offices and the different departments, I was very fascinated about this clean room, more clean as a surgery room in a hospital, where the people have to stop working after 2 hours because otherwise they lose their concentration, and then they would make a mistake here. What is not, not requested.
No, of course not.
We don't want.
Of course not. That happens almost never, because that's why we take so good care of this.
Yes.
Through our quality control and through a lot of measures that make sure that these types of things do not happen.
Yeah.
So right now, actually, we are standing in our canteen.
Yes.
Of the factory, and we have changed it into a Bierstuben,
Yes.
as you can see, as if we were beamed right to the Oktoberfest. So we hope that you enjoyed this tour through our factory. We're extremely sorry that we couldn't launch the factory together with you here, but we hope to be able to repeat this at some point in the future and invite all of you, of course, heartily over here to see and to experience this together with us.
Oktoberfest,
Yes.
beer.
Beer. Oh, geez, beer.
We come to the second beer in our event box.
Thank you.
We have here Grolsch. Grolsch is a Dutch beer, one of the big brands here. And this brewery is founded in 1615. So this beer here is more fresh. It's not that old, but the brewery is that old. And it must be very popular because this beer is distributed in over 160 countries.
We haven't gotten that far yet. We're only around 50 countries, but
Is that true?
we'll get there. We'll get
That's
there.
the reason we are here today, so we can show you worldwide where we are and who we are. And yeah, I must say, we already got something in our glass.
Ooh.
And we say cheers again.
Cheers again. I don't have anything in my glass yet, but I'll still cheers anyway.
It is Bavarian, it is Oktoberfest, so we have an alcohol-free because
Yeah, you still must be thirsty from the tour around the factory, I guess.
Yes. It was a rush, I tell you. But anyhow, you at home, we hope you have your event box available and you can drink the beers with us. We are continuing. Let's us go to the next page, and that is next.
Before we get to that, I think your
Yes.
what you asked the audience for questions, and they've actually reacted.
Yes, you have reacted.
Amazing.
Our first question came, what is the difference of the Acunex Vario compared to the Lentis Comfort, or is basically the same IOL?
That's a very good question. The main differences are really geometry, the C-loop, and the material, hydrophobic material, and the fact that it has a blue light filter. The optics are exactly the same as the Lentis Comfort. That's why no surprise that the Acunex Vario works just as well as the Lentis Comfort. And anyone who feels that they would prefer to have a blue light filter, for example, or who would prefer a C-loop, or who would prefer hydrophobic material, now has the access to this wonderful optic and can use it with their patients as well. So that are the main differences and the main similarities between the two lenses.
So is that more or less the same answer for the next question? What would you say are the main differences with the Comfort lens and the Acunex Vario?
That is exactly what I just answered, yes.
Right?
Correct. Yes,
Okay.
that's correct.
So next question we received, is low toric correction available with Acunex platform?
That's a very good question. As I said in my remarks after the presentation by Harvey Yui, we will be starting with the Acunex toric lenses, Vario toric lenses, after December. And we will be introducing the following toric corrections. It will go from T0 to T3, which means that T0 is a correction on the IOL of 0.75 diopters, all the way up to T3, which would then be 0.75152253. So the T3 would carry a correction of 3 diopters on the lens plane.
Next question. Question to producer. Because acne is made of hydrophobic material, are you afraid to make implantation of high power lenses plus 30 or more by the small 2.2 millimeter incision?
Okay. The experience that we have had so far is that people have been using the 2.2 millimeter incision also with higher power lenses. I cannot speak for this particular situation that you are now mentioning. I would think that this would still work.
But anyhow, we will receive answers that we can't answer now, but our product managers will answer them on coming Monday. So please be informed that we not put all questions here on screen to you because we can't answer them. So we send them to the product managers so you have a correct answer. Next question. What is a safe astigmatism level for the normal lens? 0.75.
Well, this is, of course, this is a question that is very difficult to answer because I think every surgeon and every patient has a different expectation of what is the safe level of astigmatism that you expect to have post-op in the eye. For the Lentis Comfort and for the Acunex Vario, because they share the same optics, it is already known that they are very, very forgiving for astigmatism. But nevertheless, a patient will experience somewhat of a vision reduction if this amount of astigmatism stays over in let's say, so yes, 0.75 is definitely still something where the lens will do its magic, but the question is, would you really want to have that?
Mm-hmm. Next question. Acunex is a yellow lens. Any reason why it is yellow and not clear lens?
There are many reasons for that. Many surgeons prefer to have blue light filter lenses. Many surgeons prefer to have clear lenses. That's why we now have both possibilities available to the using public. We have a clear lens as the Lentis Comfort, and we have a blue light filter lens as the Acunex Vario.
Thank you. And do you have research about glistening?
That is actually, thank you for that question, because that's something that I actually forgot telling you. The material that we are using for the Acunex Vario is actually the first material that received FDA clearance for being glistening free. So yes, our material is proven to be glistening free, and that I think is also a great achievement that we have been able to bring such a lens to the market.
Thank you very much for your questions. We will answer later on more questions. If you like, in the upper right, yeah, you talked a lot. In the upper right corner of your screen, you find the button to send us your questions. We're gonna have another educational video from Roger Zaldivar. Would you tell me who is Roger Zaldivar?
Yes. Roger Zaldivar is a good friend of mine who lives in Argentina. For those who don't know, I also lived in Argentina, so saludos, Roger. And he is from Mendoza. I'm not sure if you don't only drink beer, maybe you also drink wine.
Oh, yes.
You know the Mendoza region?
Yes.
Very famous for its red wines and also its white wines, actually. But Roger is actually not a actually he is a specialist in wine, but also a very good cataract surgeon, and has already done many, many, many studies. And we have asked him for his opinion on Lentis Comfort, and he has been so good to share his experience with this lens with us. And what I must mention is that this is a whole family, a whole clan of ophthalmologists, and that he is from a long line of very famous and respected surgeons from Argentina.
Grandfather, father.
Absolutely.
Well, probably he got a son who's going to do the same. Let's have a look into the film.
Absolutely.
Hi, Hi, I'm Dr. Roger Saldivar. I'm the head of the Instituto Saldivar Institute in Argentina, and my background is in visual optics and refractive surgery. The most burning topics concerning cataract surgery at present are clearly this group of IOLs that are based in extended depth of focus technology. I think that this is a great opportunity today to expand the premium channel that has been stuck in the last couple of years. And with this extended depth of focus that they clearly have more tolerance, they're more forgiving, we can include in this premium technology all those patients that have unstable tear film, that there's a big group in everyday's clinic. We can include patients with different macular conditions. We can include patients with high pressure in those borderline limits or with some decrease in their visual field. So finally, the most important thing is that we can upgrade many patients that are willing to have a better technology, and they were in a way only classified as monofocal IOL candidates. So I do believe that there is a huge niche to be exploited, and I celebrate this new technology that is in our hands today. I believe that refractive optics have a very clear advantage over diffractive optics in terms of forgiveness. They are optics that have more tolerance to defocus, because since we are extending depth of focus, we are enlarging the focal point at the retina plane. It's definitely more forgiving since they are not based in something called constructive interference, like it's happening with the diffractive optics. It can tolerate more micro aberrations created by dry eye. So reason why these are good optics to use in patients that have unstable tear films. And on the other hand, as a disadvantage, it's clear that the near add, so the power that this patient have for near, is not as good as what you can get with diffractive optics. So you always have pros and cons. The point is that there is always a candidate for each technology, and you have to tailor-make your decision. But the good news is that refractive optics are truly complementary and are going to enlarge the premium channel, as I mentioned before. With more than 0.5 diopters against the rule and more than 1.25 diopters with the rule, we always select a toric IOL. Correcting astigmatism is very important, and more in premium IOLs where patients have higher expectations. And the reality is that most of these optics, more in the diffractive side, it's very critical and very sensitive to small numbers of cylinders. My good friend Francesco Carones demonstrated in his paper how critical and how sensitive it's 0.75 diopters of astigmatism in these diffractive optics, and how acute was the drop in contrast sensitivity in all these patients. Another thing that he demonstrated was how patients with more than 0.5 diopters decreased considerably the satisfaction questionnaire after the procedure. So there's no doubt that correcting astigmatism and more in this premium channel is a must. The barriers of surgeons to treat more patients with astigmatism are two, in my opinion. One, and very important, is patients most of the times, they try to avoid higher expectations of patients. And of course, if you are doing a premium IOL, like it's a toric IOL, you have the pressure to really perform. That's number one. Many doctors are not used to have that pressure. Number two is in the higher amount of cylinder, it's really the confidence of executing exactly what they are proposing. So there are different weaknesses in terms of alignment, having a proper alignment, having a good calculation, calculating that cylinder power, that are, of course, more difficult when you have a smaller cylinder, because you truly have more to lose than to win it. You have to be more exquisite in every calculation, every single step. So many doctors avoid this, and this is critical, because we are always speaking about it's the same to put a toric with T5, where you're correcting more than 3 diopters, than with a T2. If you have a residual error, the patient will suffer the same. You do have to take care of that small cylinder if you want the patient to perform. So reason why we are very aggressive with cylinders, as I mentioned before, and we always put a cylinder in patients that have more than 0.5 diopters against the rule, which is very difficult to compensate with relaxing incisions or even with their principal incision. And with the rule, whenever we find something noisy in the cornea or have a prior LASIK or a prior refractive surgery, we do put with more than 1 diopter a cylinder with the rule. The IOL that I would choose for myself would be clearly an extended depth of focus IOL, and it would be preferably, I would choose a refractive extended depth of focus IOL. I have dry eye, I have dysfunctional glands, meibomian gland dysfunction. I really suffer my dryness. I have unstable tear film, and I would definitely select something that is forgiving, that I wouldn't condition myself in my future. And from a surgeon perspective, I like to have the less compromise in my contrast sensitivity to be able to keep doing surgery. So I definitely use something like the Comfort IOL in myself. Hopefully you have enjoyed the meeting. Please stay safe, and it will be great if we can see each other next year.
Yeah, thank you to Roger. That was very interesting what he just told us.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? Did you find some new in it?
Well, I think one of the interesting things that Roger mentioned in the beginning was actually a system of lenses that we have brought to market is the Femtis. So in what we are doing with the Femtis is that actually we are harnessing a new trend in cataract surgery where automated machines are used to make the little opening in the capsular bag, which is called a capsular rhexis. And this opening can be done manually, is done manually in most of the cases nowadays. But there are some new technologies emerging to make a perfectly round capsular rhexis, which should help with IOL positioning. And with our Femtis technology, what we do is we actually take advantage of this perfectly round opening and have a lens that fits very snugly in this opening, and we have haptics that go inside the capsular bag and we have haptics that go outside the capsular bag, so that this lens stays exactly in place where it's supposed to stay. And that will bring numerous advantages for the patient, because surgery becomes more predictable. So surgeons will be having better outcomes with their patients. And so what we have done is we have taken the optics from, for example, the Lentis Comfort or the Acunex Vario, and we have put it also on this platform of the Femtis lens.
Yeah.
And if you would be so kind just to give me those lenses that are, one further down the road.
Yeah, here.
Those, yes.
Yeah, all right.
So that I can actually show this. This is what the Femtis looks like. I'll turn it around so that people can see. Perfect. So you see here the haptics that go in front of the capsular bag and the haptics that go inside the capsular bag. And that is, I think, a very, very interesting breakthrough in IOL technology that we are bringing to market. And we hope that everybody will take advantage of this and try to improve the outcomes for their patients. So that's one interesting thing that Roger mentioned in his talk. And of course, EDOF lenses is like, let's say, like we are here in very fashionable clothes.
Yes.
EDOF lenses are the newest fashion in cataract surgery because it gives patients a very good workable vision. They can do 90–95% of the tasks, daily tasks that they need to do.
Yeah.
And at the same time, using our technology, they do not have any of the drawbacks that this brings, because physics is physics. So if I extend the focus range for a patient, I will get into some kind of a trade-off. You cannot have it all. You cannot have your cake and eat it. That just doesn't work. But what we have found is I believe, the ideal compromise between extending that range of vision and minimizing the drawbacks that this will bring. And that's what you have in front of you in very different models, like the Lentis Comfort, like the Femtis Comfort, and also the Acunex Vario. So I think this is something that Roger was alluding to when he was asked what would he use in his own surgery.
Right.
And this is also something that I can also tell everybody. My dad had surgery beginning of this year with a dear friend of mine, with Detlef Breyer from Düsseldorf. And also he was implanted with the Acunex Vario. Not with this one would be too big, but with the normal Acunex Vario. And he's very delighted with the results. So I think this is something really for everybody. And we have proven throughout the last 10, 11 years since we have introduced this technology that it really works, that patients are really very satisfied with it, and that they have little or no problems with their vision. And this goes to show that we have achieved 800,000 implantations for a company that is here sending you a live program from the Bierstube in the canteen of the factory in Spankeren in the Netherlands, with the help of my team in Berlin and in Leverkusen. I think that's quite an achievement.
Yes, I must say so. I'm impressed anyhow, because I didn't know that, because where should I know it from? I knew there are lenses. I thought it were little tubes you put into the eye, but that's in this shape, new to me, but I'm not a doctor.
Well, cheers to that, and cheers to everybody in the audience.
Yeah, we should drink in between, right? Still good. It's still good.
Even though there's no alcohol in it.
No, but the taste
is still good.
Yeah, it's still good. We have good questions from you. We received them. One question here: how we can explain why the other players in the market are launching their EDOF lens technology if they already have B and trifocal lenses, theoretically offering good vision for all distances?
That's a very good question as well. I think what separates us, especially from these other offerings that are now switching to EDOF lenses, is the fact that from the start, if we use our sector-shaped lenses, which have a varifocal effect, and compare that to diffractive models, the diffractive models will always have the disadvantage that it's not the ideal compromise between range of vision and amount of drawbacks that you get. So yes, they have their range of vision. People can see far, people can see near, and people can see in between, but they can't see that comfortably. So they have some kind of issues, which we in our industry call glare or halos or any kind of photic phenomena that can happen. And that in our technology has been reduced to a minimum. And what you see happening now is that also other manufacturers have come to the conclusion that when you are offering multifocality, your most important goal must be that there is clear and crisp distance vision. That's the most important thing that you can have. And what the competition is now basically moving away from, in order to be able to offer that crisp and clear distance vision, is they are moving away from diffractive technology and are moving to other technologies. And I think that is a clear game changer that's happening right now in the entire industry. And this question basically says that what you get is that many different manufacturers have now started offering lenses based on other technologies. And what you see there is that the range of vision that you get from these EDOF lenses are quite limited. So you don't get as far as you can get with an Acunex Vario or Lentis Comfort. But they give you some degree of depth of focus, and they give you little issues. But then again, if you want just only some degree of depth of focus, is that all you can get? So we still believe that our combination is the ideal one.
Yes. Fine, thank you very much. Next question. How long did it take to plan and build this impressive new factory? Easy question.
Forever. No. Actually, we had the experience from our staff. Our staff is very experienced in what is needed and what is not needed in order to have an ideal IOL factory. And it has taken us a little under 2 years from getting the building permits, setting up the plans, breaking ground, to basically opening this facility. So that was quite, I think, an achievement. And it was all done with the staff that we have here on hand. And of course, external help with some bulldozers and stuff like that. We didn't do it here by hand. But that was quite an achievement, yes.
Thank you. Next question. Can you combine different multifocal IOLs with different editions? Any advantages or disadvantages?
Yes, I think you can, as long as you stay with the same technology. I would not mix technologies how, let's say, the multifocality is achieved. If you stay with the same technology, and I think our lenses are a very good indicator of that we offer with our technology different editions, and these different editions can be combined with each other because they all give you that crisp, clear distance vision. And then you can play a little bit with what kind of depth of focus is offered to the patient, because every patient is different, and that's also one of our, let's say, mottos is unique lenses for unique patients. So we want to make sure that every patient gets exactly what they need and what they expect.
Yeah. Does it matter where the near vision segment is located? Can you place its superior position as well?
Yes, you can. Considering that the eye is an imperfect optical system, you might run into issues at some point. But if the eye were a perfect optical system, it would not matter where our addition segment lies. That's the theory behind our lens, because the additions are all on the same optical axis. And what you can get is that if the eye is not a perfect optical system and the optical axis is a little bit off, then at some point you might, if the, let's say, the offset is too big,
yes,
then you could be in trouble. But there, our lens and our technology is actually the only technology that can help you in such a situation, because other technologies are all rotationally symmetric. Our technology is rotationally asymmetric. So if you have an offset and something's off in the eye, you actually have the possibility to turn the addition into the right direction, where you need it. And that's not really something that others can offer. But in a normal system, that will make no difference.
Okay. When will the Vario Toric be available?
From December this year. I should add that. December 2020.
Yeah, okay. Next question. Acunex, why C-loop? Why not plate haptic like Lantis? What difference about centration and stability between two haptic designs?
It's not only the haptic design that is different, but also the material, and that makes a very big difference. If you only would change one variable, then I would agree. Why would you have two different haptic designs with the same material? But because we have a completely different material, and what we are missing in our range is a C-loop option for those many, many fans of C-loop lenses. Because many, many surgeons prefer to have a C-loop lens for handling, for easiness of implantation, and also for stability in the bag. So we are trying to cater to everybody, and we want every surgeon and every patient to be happy. So that's why we have a C-loop offering and a plate offering.
Mm-hmm. Ready for the next one?
I'm ready. Let me get some beer first, because it's getting warm in here.
Do you plan for post-OP refraction outcome to be planned in one eye and a 0.50 in the non-dominant eye? Oops.
That is always a good way of providing itsy-bitsy tiny bit of more depth of focus. So you start always in infinity, that's your clear and crisp distance vision, and then you come closer. And then our lens goes up to here, and then if one lens is implanted a little bit more myopic, then that vision comes a little closer. And then with both eyes, you can use, let's say, a more extended depth of vision, and that is perfectly possible, yes.
Okay, fine. Next question. Any new lens projects coming?
So many new lens projects, but then I would have to shoot you all if I tell you about it. But I can tell you about one that is definitely in the cards, is that I talked a little bit about what the other manufacturers in the lens business are starting to do, is starting to come out with EDOF lenses that have a very narrow depth of focus, and combined with a narrow set of drawbacks or photic phenomena. And that is, let's say, a product class that we are looking into very, very hard, and we expect to surprise all of you that are listening to us, our audience, with something that would fit into this category in Q1 of next year.
Great. I think this question is already answered in the talk we had before. How many people works in this factory?
100.
How was environmental protection taken into consideration when building this new factory?
I think that's something that Ben alluded to when you were doing the tour. And that's a very interesting thing, that in Holland they classify buildings according to their, let's say, green status, if you like.
Yes.
And we achieved, out of the levels of 9 categories, we achieved category 8 with this facility. So it's very modern. We do not use any central heating or air conditioning. It's all done with heat exchangers. That, of course, is possible because we are sitting in a very mild climate here in the Netherlands. You wouldn't be able to do that somewhere where it's very hot or very cold.
Yeah.
But that helps us, of course, to really have a building that has very little amount of exhausts and producing very little amount of CO2 gas. Basically, also it is checked how energy is used. It is checked how it saves the environment, how healthy the environment is for its, let's say, workers that are working here, and also what, let's say, the future will bring in terms of what can we add to the factory and how can we extend the building.
Great. Do you sell lenses globally? And when yes, in how many countries?
Yes, we do. We sell through our partners that are listening to us and watching us here, right here, drinking beer and wearing our fashionable Bavarian clothes. Did I mention that that this was really fashionable? And I like your outfit even better, I must say.
Real Bavarian.
But not as many countries as Grosch or Warsteiner are being sold, but we are represented in more than 50 countries worldwide. So that's quite an achievement.
Yeah.
And that creates a lot of work, especially for our regulatory department, because selling medical devices is a beatsy more complicated than selling beer.
Is it true?
Yes. Yes.
Oh. Yeah. Well, we come to the third beer. Hold on. Also don't be afraid. We don't forget that one. How does the varifocal effect work?
We achieve through the sector-shaped near addition that we have. The secret is actually in the middle, because we have the entire middle is free for distance, and then we have a transition zone to the near. And in between this transition zone, we create so much light energy between far and near that a person who is implanted with these lenses just has this entire range of vision available. And that's what you see when you turn out to have a patient, and you basically, like you said, you were putting in front of a phoropter where you get the different glasses, and you have to say, yes, this is better, yes, this is not better. But this is something similar, and then you just purposefully defocus people and tell them what can they still see. Mm-hmm. And the varifocal effect basically means that it's almost like a straight line. They can see in any distance.
Okay.
That's what we call the varifocal effect in our technology.
Great. Important question received by email. What is new in your portfolio 2020? You already said something what is going to be published in December.
Well, 2020, of course, was a difficult year for all of us. And with COVID-19, some of the launches that we did this year have actually not really taken off as we wished it would have had, because we didn't have the possibility to interact with all of you as we would have liked. And what you can see is that, for example, the Acunex VarioMax, which is the newest family member that is already available from the Acunex line of lenses, is something that we introduced in January 2020. But then Wuhan came, and it was pretty much stopped in its tracks. So we still think that the Acunex VarioMax is a new addition to our line in 2020. Yeah. And then now we are going to introduce the Acunex Vario toric lens in December. And as I said, we have a little secret and a little treat, which we will launch in Q1 of 2021. Mm-hmm. But the fact that I'm already talking about it, I know is going to raise many questions about it. And I can tell you we will be able to answer these questions definitely before the end of the year.
So let's keep waiting for that, what is coming. What is the idea behind the Femtis IOL products?
That was a part that we saw in the video from Roger Zaldivar. The Femtis lens, what I explained is that we developed this technology in order to basically harness the clinical benefits of automated capsulorhexis machines. Mm-hmm. That's the femtosecond laser. Phaco machines, that's the capsule laser, that's the Zepto, and all these different technologies that are now emerging to make perfectly round capsulorhexis are going to make cataract surgery more predictable and get better outcomes for patients. And we want to help with the Femtis lens because that is exactly what is needed in order to really potentiate this technology.
Yes. Excellent centration due to its fixed positioning in the capsular hexes.
Those are...
I don't know. Is that what it means, that from Femtis IOL?
Yeah. You can just go to 8, I think.
What is the advantage of EDOF IOLs like Lentis Comfort or Acunex Vario?
Yeah, this again, in order to hammer this point home, we are basically talking about a lens that anybody can be implanted with because this lens gives you an ideal I would think, depth of focus area combined with the least possible issues that you can get with photic phenomena. So that is, if you want to have good vision that will get you through 90% of the day, you choose for a Lentis Comfort or an Acunex Vario.
Well, that's a clear statement. That's you can't topping that anymore.
No, you cannot.
We shortly come to the end of this transmission, but we have told we're going to have a third beer. So this is a beer from Belgium, and this is a blonde beer, and this is also very, very special because this comes from a brewery that is one of the oldest breweries of the world. It's a Belgian Abbey beer, Notre Dame de l'Eve. This abbey is founded in 1152, and well, about 100 years later, closely 100 years, the monks became thirsty and said, one of the beers we should brew for ourselves should be this Leffe. By the way, this beer is also exported in over 150 countries. And now we are very close to the end of this transmission from Teleon here in Spankeren in the Netherlands. We hope you like this program and what you have seen, and perhaps you answered the last poll, how did you like this event? That's for us important to know, because probably we have to do that next year again, and that's probably of the reason that I would like to know it myself. Mark, thank you very much indeed for giving all the answers. Thank you for having me here. And thank you, dear viewers all over the world, for being with us. And it's always possible to contact us if you have more questions about the new products and the products to come. Teleon and the crew will be ready for you. Thank you very much. Your host, Harry Wijnvoord, says goodbye. Mark, goodbye.
Goodbye to all of you, and hopefully we will see you at the ESCRS Virtual this weekend. Thanks for listening and thanks for watching.
Bye.